for diving. And I was shown Fuga Island, and I consider it one of the 5 best places in the world. It's got everything there if it isn't overtaxed, and we don't spoil it.
What do you mean, overtaxed?
Well, I think an example would be Miami Beach, where you brought so many people in, and you did try to do so many, you made an amusement center out of the beach. And the boats dumping everything into it, and all kinds of pollution. It just won't take the impact of a great population. And it should be preserved in some way for a man to go there and shoot pictures and explore.
What do scuba divers do? Why do they take this up as a hobby? To take pictures, or to spear fish, or see things? What is this for?
Well, I think there's, like a lot of sports, there's a lot of motivations for it. I think I can give you my own example. I was afraid of the ocean. I used to have nightmares about going into the dark sea and what was there. And probably a lot of it was because it was a mysterious and a fear thing I wanted to overcome. That's all past for me now. Now I think it's exploration. It's a way to explore without having to get dropped into the middle of the Amazon jungle or in the middle of the Philippine jungle and expose yourself to all kinds of hardships. That you can go into a strange world, almost in your backyard, and see sights that no man has ever seen before. You can see prehistoric things that are still living fossils.
You can.
Yes, that's what the sea has done. It's retained. And the sea contains, as far as 100 times more life, different kinds of life than there is on the land.
But isn't it dangerous to get down there? How about sharks and all that? And these sea monsters, you know, and rays, these electric rays that, you know, and these manta rays and all that. Aren't these things dangerous?
In comparison to, I don't know what, camping in the mountains where you might be afraid that there's going to be a bear come down and eat you, or riding in a jeepney, or, I mean, all the things are much more dangerous, actually. There are more people killed by bumblebees in the United States than there are people that die in diving. And the only reason anyone gets in trouble in diving is because they're untrained. They do something that shouldn't be done, something foolish. We have never really lost an experienced diver that followed the rules. The only time an experienced diver has been lost is where he's shortcutted, where he's done the thing that he was not supposed to do. There's no reason to ever have any trouble underwater. As far as the hazards of marine creatures, we've found that the tendency is to run from it, unless you are aggressive yourself. If you ask for trouble, you get trouble. And this is a rule of the sea or any place else, or the jungle. But generally we find that Fuga, for example, I went up there fully prepared to be fighting off sharks. Now we did things that should have brought sharks in. I saw not one shark up there, which was disappointing as a photographer, but a great joy as just a plain diver.
I mean, you wanted to take pictures.
Well, you always do. I mean, you hang in there because you want that monster picture. And I found that if you want, you know, the good luck charm, the absolute repellent for sharks, you carry a camera. You never see a shark.
How deep did you go up there, Fuga?
Fuga, we went down to 100 feet. We were trying to find a drop-off ledge. And we were working, methodically surveying the area, trying to watch for sharks. But we have yet to find our drop-off ledge. We think we know where it is. We're going back up now. And that's the last, once we find that, that's the last characteristic I need to really say Fuga has everything that you can find in any other diving spot in the world. It has the best smorgasbord, a combination of elements.
When you say drop-off ledge, I think everybody believes that when you go in the ocean, you know, you go down 16 million feet down there in case, you know, something goes wrong. But that's not true.
Well, actually, you know, we're all living on little islands everywhere. Not just the Philippines, everybody's living on little islands sitting up the ocean that covers 75% of the surface. So when you step out there, you're going out on ledges that were at one time up out of the sea, and some have gone under. And these are all, surrounding all the continents and all the islands are these, we call them continental shelves. And these ledges go out and they drop off. And sometimes they go out for a long ways before they drop off. And this is what we need to find, is something that's fairly close to shore that drops off. And most of your diving up there is perfect kind of diving where you have a gentle slope going out. You can work your way out from 5 feet on to 100 feet, and they're very comfortable dive.
And this drop off, how deep does that drop off have to be to make it a perfect diving place?
Well, the place in the Bahamas that we call the ledge starts at 120 feet and drops down to 2,000.
Wow.
Another place called the Wall, which is another famous place, starts at about 110 feet and it drops to 6,000.
Wow.
Then there's another place in Mexico called Palancar Reef, which is another ledge drop-off. It goes on into the Yucatan Channel there, and that starts at about 100 feet and it drops off to about 4,000. So off this ledge, you see magnificent forests of black corals. You see all the giant creatures of the sea pass there in review. You can just sit there and you just watch this big parade of gigantic and exotic things you'll never see pictures of.
Is it dark down there?
Actually, it's quite light. It would be like on a cloudy day.
Not
Clear water. No, it isn't. It's actually, and we can take pictures without light down there at that depth. Black and white pictures. And it has a gloomy effect, like being on a cloudy day, but you still have light. And it's
how many people are taking this up? Who are some of the famous people who are scuba divers?
Well, we're going to hopefully you're going to have me come back with my wife because she's had some interesting experiences with our people that have come to the Bahamas. And we have Walter Cronkite, who's our famous newscaster in the United States. Arthur Godfrey, who's been famous in television, Lloyd Bridges, Hugh O'Brien, a wider series on television, Dr. Werner von Braun, the man who invented rockets in space and all of that, all the astronauts we've had down there. Uncle Bob pretty soon, right? Prince Rainier.
Oh, the fellow who married Elizabeth.
No, Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
We had him out diving. Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. Yeah. Can a fat man dive very well? Because I think Orson Welles is quite fat, isn't he? Because
speaking for the fat men of the world.
Yeah, the buoyancy.
I feel that you sacrifice something against something. A man with that is not really trim and lean has much more problems with deep diving, but he has less problems with cold water.
Oh.
He stays warm longer. He has an outer layer which protects him.
These rubber suits, are these suits designed to keep you warm? I noticed that they had woolen underwear and everything on under there.
Those are special suits. Our neoprene rubber, they have little air cells in them that's mixed into the rubber when it's molded. And these suits are almost miraculous because they're open to the water, but the water goes in and the water warms up. So that it stays there and provides that warmth inside with the insulation being the rubber itself protecting it.
Yeah.
And these suits are very comfortable. It's like a second skin. And ladies are molded to look very good in them, and so they serve a lot of purposes.
Yeah. Is this the same kind of an outfit that a frog man would wear? Is a frog man a scuba diver?
Yes. However, your military frogmen, if you're thinking about UDT men and so forth, they tend to use what we call a closed circuit unit because a closed circuit unit doesn't have any exhaust bubbles. So they can sneak in places without being detected on the surface.
Oh.
So they have these we call rebreathers.
Yeah. Joe, I know that you over there at the Panacraft store on, we're not trying to plug Panacraft. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that you had snorkel equipment and everything over there and scuba equipment until today.
It's something new. I mean, we added a counter there with complete equipment for people who want to dive.
Over there in the Panacraft and United Nations.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Bartlet, Dick, do you consider yourself a professional diver or what?
Well, I've been diving professionally now for about 3 years. And I mean, I make my living diving.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess you could call me a professional.
All right. Now, why did you take this instructor school? Are you going to set up a school or something like that? This instructor's course. Are you going to become an instructor here now? to teach?
Well, we're working on a program for instructing basic divers.
Here.
Yes.
And your sister also, I think you said. Your sister.
Yes, my sister just finished college. I think I have to tell you more about the problem, more about the program.
You know, I think we might just say that both Dick and his sister Sharon have come back now and are pulling together a lot of the competent divers here in the Philippines. And we hope to put together a first Philippine National Underwater Instructors program so that there'll be really legitimate professional certification available to divers. And the Philippines will have reciprocal arrangements with the United States and England. So a diver from here will be trained by the Philippine Association, the only place in the world, and have his certification as a diver accepted, and have his air tanks filled and that sort of thing. So we're just now lining up our places and working with people like Joe and trying to get this established. And part of this will be also setting up weekend trips so that people can take their instruction and then go to some of our interesting places, Zamboanga and up in Kruger Island. And we have a place they can call and leave their name and have information sent to them.
Right. Yeah, what is it?
The number is 888426, and they ask for Miss Santos.
888426.
And ask for Miss Santos.
And they can give information about diving and all this.
Yes, about the instruction, about the trips that will be coming up, and they'll take the person's name and they'll send out more information and literature.
Now, what is this festival?
Oh, the Underwater Film Festival is the first one, and we're calling it the first annual Southeast Asia Underwater Film Festival. Be at the Phil-Am Library on August 22nd, Saturday night at 8 p.m. And I brought films that were award winners from the world festivals. I also produced the International Underwater Film Festival. It's 14th year in California. And I've done shows in Mexico City and in Canada and New York and all over the United States. So I put together a series of films that I thought would be really interesting for our first festival here. And the idea is that we want to, the proceeds from the tickets, half of it is going to the Cultural Center to help them get 16mm projection set up so that we can do the festival there. And the other half we're going to give as a research grant to make an underwater film about the Philippines as an entry in our 1971 World Festival. So we hope everybody will come to it. The tickets will be available. Right now you can get them at the ticket office at the Cultural Center or at any of the bookmark stores in Quezon City or in Makati.
How much are they?
10 peso ticket and a 5 peso ticket.
How about your place there?
They'll be available in 5 o'clock.
Oh,
They can
great.
get the same information.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Very good.
So, you know, anybody who really wants to know, and it's a good, I think it's a great thing to have young kids go to this too. Parents
Oh,
bring
yeah,
young
it's
kids.
very educational.
Yeah.
Very educational. We have, really tremendous films that bring up a 500-pound nugget of jade. And,
Jade under the sea?
yes. On the California coast, there's a coral reef. And every once in a while, a big nugget breaks loose. And this is the biggest, most perfect one that was ever brought up. And Dick Bartlet here and I were part of the group that brought it back.
A 500-pound piece of jade?
Yes.
How much would that be worth?
Well, it's estimated by the museum. We gave it to the Los Angeles County Museum. It's on display there.
Oh.
And they estimate its value as a specimen piece at $10,000.
In the bottom of the sea?
Yes.
It's just exposed there.
Yes, it tumbled loose from the storms. It's eventually, it breaks loose and it gets polished and tumbled by the wave action and it settles. We found it back in a cave.
Well,
We worked on it for 2 years trying to get it up. We finally brought it back on Christmas vacation period.
you know, now that the young kids are looking for new, more exciting, more thrilling, and more adventurous things to do, of course, a lot of them are finding pot and all that, you know. But, you know, the two unexplored areas of that mankind at least can touch today are outer space, and few of us can go there. Or down inside, you know, the sea. And that means anything below 5 feet or 10 feet, you're going to find new and exciting things that you have never seen before. So that you are trained as to what to do so that you are safe all the time. And that's the reason for these schools, of course. Anyone at any place in the Philippines can have fun and excitement and explore life, beyond belief, beyond explanation, beyond description. And it's inexpensive, Once you have the equipment, you can go anywhere in the whole world and dive. So if you would like to learn more about it and have your children learn more about it too, why don't you plan on? You can call that telephone number. It's 888426 and ask for Miss Santos. And plan on going to the Underwater Festival. Is that what you call it?
Underwater Film Festival.
Underwater Film Festival, and there's going to be an exhibition there of movies, award-winning movies, which have been shown in other underwater film festivals over the past few years, and it's going to be held on Saturday night, the 22nd of this month. That's just 2 weeks from now, I think. 2 weeks from tomorrow, at the Phil-Am Life building there on United Nations Avenue. There aren't too many seats available in that auditorium, so it would be a good idea to get your seat now, get it reserved. And you can get seats at any of the bookmark stores.
Right, and also at the Ticket Center, at the Cultural
Center.
And also?
Or Joe Mendez place over there at Panacraft on the United Nations, where you have some scuba diving equipment also. Matter of fact, we were just talking on the way. While we were waiting for name of the game to get over, we went over here to the Sulu restaurant here, the Sulu Hotel and Restaurant, and had a beer and so forth.